welcome back. I'm glad you're here. So, yesterday there was no video. I did a blog instead. I did a written, and I'm gonna post the link in the comments. I had another website, and when I went to write that one, it was a little more complicated for this girl. I need easy and user-friendly. So we went to a different website, and so I'll post that link so you can go and join in that, because I'm probably going to alternate between the written blog and doing the videos, so that way you won't miss anything. So I'll post that. You'll download the app and join there, and it's more interactive too, so I thought that was a pretty cool website and pretty cool app that we can talk to each other and chat or whatever. So I will link that. Today we are talking about you are stronger than you think. Have you ever thought about how strong God is? With just the power of His Word, He spoke the moon and the stars into existence. He simply spoke, and all of creation was spoken into existence. He parted the Red Sea so that His people could walk across on dry land. You know, no muddy shoes, no wet feet. Ephesians 6:10 says, "Be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might." Have you ever thought about how He gives you His strength? The God of the universe is living inside you, and He has empowered you with His strength. That's an awesome thought when you start thinking about it. And I started thinking about it. So, you know, there are many days that we don't feel strong at all. You know, on our weekdays that we don't feel strong at all. That's when we're at our weakest. But we have to remember that God indwells in us. He lives in us, and He gives us His strength. You know, think for a second about those that we have studied, those in His Word that we've talked about, that He has given His strength to. He gave David the strength to face Goliath. I mean, David was a little guy, and Goliath was a giant, and He gave David the strength and the courage. He gave Moses the strength and the courage to lead God's children out of Egypt. You know, when Moses found out what God wanted him to do, Moses was a man of few words, and he was scared, and he told God, I'm not well spoken. And the very thought of having to go to Pharaoh and say, let God's people go, was overwhelming. But God gave Moses His strength and His words to be able to carry out what God was wanting him to do. After Moses passed, that mission was passed on to Joshua, and Joshua was to continue to lead God's children to the promised land. And God gave Joshua that strength and that courage that he needed to face the walls of Jericho. He gave Daniel the strength and the courage to stand firm in his faith. He was thrown into a lion's den for praying to God, and God delivered him. He gave him the strength to stand firm in his faith, to continue to do what he had been called to do. We've talked about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and God gave them His strength to face that fiery furnace. Even though they were faced with this fiery furnace that very likely could have caused death, He gave them the strength and the courage to stand strong. No matter what, in death or in life, they were able to stand. So there are so many in God's Word that we can see that God has given them His strength, His courage to carry out what He's asked them to do. That same God that He has given His strength to David, to Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Moses, Joshua, that same God that gave them the strength is giving you his strength. Because he lives in you, he dwells in you, and he is there, holding you up, giving you everything that you need to face anything that comes your way. You've got the power of God living inside of you. So you're stronger than you think. So I hope that you have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.